Hey there, YouTube friends. maskedbandit here with episode 2 of BroNation Studios. Little project we started a week or so ago with the launch of the Studios pack, and after watching a bunch of other people do their thing with the studios, I decided to throw my hat in the ring. And so in the first episode, we got the layout of the entrance plaza, I suppose you could call it, all set up. And then I realized I hated it. And so this episode is a lot of tinkering and fiddling, and in the end of the day, we're only going to get 2 buildings almost done. I mean, they're not even done, but 2 buildings almost done. I work so slow, and sometimes it's really disheartening when I watch other YouTubers just throw stuff out there, and I'm like, how do you work so fast? How do you work so fast? It's killer. And it was really nice today. I'm recording this on Sunday. It was really nice today. I watched Janty from Geekism. I watched his video today on his Geekism Studios. And it was really nice to hear him say that, sometimes he needs to actually slow down a little bit and remember the detail and all that. Not that his previous stuff wasn't fantastic. It was just nice to hear that he decided to slow down and build some amazing things. And his most recent video, his little sound stages are fantastic. And by little, I mean huge. But it was nice. It was nice to hear somebody else dealing with this whole idea of kind of feeling the pressure to get content out. Like, as a YouTube creator, sometimes it's hard to keep perspective in not why you're doing it, but like your own deadlines and stuff. Like, I want to get content out for you guys quickly, and it's just so hard in Planet Coaster, and I don't want the work to suffer. So you'll have to be patient with me as we go slowly, especially with something like this, with this BroNation Studios, because it's hard. It's hard for me. This master planned idea is not something I'm necessarily great at, and then to throw scale on top of it is another issue. I struggle with scale quite frequently, and especially in these types of parks with these high detail. Like, I want the details, and I end up overbuilding scale wise. So you'll see lots of archers and stuff, and lots of rebuilding and redoing. Take this first bit we're working on here, for example. Today, we're rebuilding the ticket booths, as I said we were going to. And actually, I went ahead and actually made this the entrance with the actual park entrance gates here. I moved them out of the ticket booths into the turnstiles. So it actually makes sense now. In the last episode, if you look closely, someone could walk into the park without having to go through the turnstiles. And that doesn't make any sense at all. So I went ahead and I fixed that. So that was what that first chunk was obviously all about, and I wanted to keep it simple, but I wanted to add some of those kind of deco details. So as I mentioned before, and if you've been there, you can tell, this is heavily inspired by Disney Hollywood Studios, excuse me, not Universal at all. It's like the opposite of that. And so these beginning structures here are pretty much direct ripoffs off of what you'll find in Hollywood Studios. And I'm okay with that, because I need to get used to this level of detail at this scale. On BroNation, lots of people have been just knocking out of the park. A lot of our bros, if you're not a member of BroNation, we had over 40 people join today. And that's just insane. So if you're one of those 40 people that joined, thanks so much for stopping by and seeing what we're all about. I hope you're enjoying it. But anyway, our staff, our bros, we've been sharing our projects back and forth to bounce ideas off of each other. I tell you what, Kinderly and Rubel and Mineral and all those guys, their scale and their level of detail in these highly themed areas, it just has me so excited for No Name Landia Season 2. Oh, I'm just so excited. And I totally feel like a weak link in that regard. Because my bread and butter, my wheelhouse is the not so heavily themed, generic, rustic kind of look. So this is really out there for me, building something like this, which is why I think it's taking me so long to really get into a groove. I picked at this all week long, and it wasn't until this weekend that I was able to finally sit down and get into a really solid groove. And once I did, I was quite happy with the progress. So this building here, this one we're working on right now, is kind of like a last-ditch gift shop, and it also is this huge building in Hollywood Studios. It's this huge building with lots of backstage access, and there's a first aid right here, and I really liked how the first aid was totally tucked away in the corner, away from everything. I kind of had to go hunting for it. And so that's what we did here. That's what I kind of had to do here. I tried to really push it back so that it wasn't so in your face. You had to go back into the foliage and into the area to kind of find what you were looking for. And we're going to end up doing the same thing on the other side in the next episode. So then the next episode, we're going to tackle the other side of this little entrance plaza, try to rough out Rudy's a bit more, and we'll also try to do some restrooms and some guest services. So this little tan building, it doesn't stick around for very long. The second building on the corner of Hollywood Studios is this Californian craftsman, like, gift shop kind of thing. And that's what I'm going with right here, except ours is going to be a food establishment. One of the things I want to do is I want to pay as many nods to members of BroNation and my bros as possible with this park. I want there to be a lot of tongue-in-cheek references and inside jokes and stuff like that. This is really supposed to be for BroNation and for me, but mostly for them. And so I thought this first restaurant, I should go ahead and give tribute to my partner in crime, Mike and Seven. And for those of you that might be unaware, Mike originally hails from Anaheim, and he moved to Montana a few years ago. And so this building, I kind of tried to do a mix of California craftsmen and this kind of Rocky Mountain architecture. I almost made it look very similar to some of the things we have in No Name Landia. And that was intentional. So if you're like, this just looks like what you built for No Name Landia. Yeah, I know. I wanted that. And I thought that would be a doubly nice way to reference him, to pay homage to my partner, to Mike. We have No Name Landia. That's kind of our baby. And so having this building that kind of references No Name Landia, but also kind of California and kind of Rocky Mountain stuff is all kind of intentional. And so later on, you'll see what I end up naming it, and it's supposed to be it's supposed to be a genuine, go figure, huh? A genuine tribute to him. So if that came across, then I did my job, and I'm glad. If that didn't come across, then, well, what are you gonna do? So a lot of techniques here in this building I did learn while working on No Name Landia, and some of the things, Silverette, some of the woodwork here on the trusses is a direct call to what Silverette was able to do for us. So had to cover up this little patch here to hide some of the walls, because we don't have half tile walls, even though I would absolutely love them. This building took several attempts. This might be attempt 3 or 4, and so yeah, it was a struggle again to get the scale, and I wanted it to be large, but I didn't want it to be overbearing, and I wanted it to fit with what was around it, and I think in the end it did pretty good. These doors here in the archways, I'm not sure about that. The archways are too big, the doors are too small. I find something to make it work, and it kind of grows on me. I'm not 100% settled on it, but we'll see. So as you can see, I have a little bit of a bay window there, and I spend quite a bit of time and quite a bit of pieces, here we go, working on a custom roof for this bay window. There's just nothing. I tried to think about maybe doing the dome technique, but retroactive to already putting that in there, I was like, nah, that's not going to happen. And it actually didn't end up being too terribly bad. You see me fiddle around there. So here we go into this custom roof, and I actually really like the way it turned out. I think the shape, it's kind of this like bowl shape. Like at first it's just your standard pitch, but then it starts to get shallower as you go up. And I think what really sells it for me are the corner shingles here. I think that turned out pretty good. Like usually I really took my time with this, and I kind of think it shows. And it might be one of the biggest strengths of the building, actually. And I think the color scheme is another strong point for this structure. So those were things that I was really trying to keep in mind as I built. I wanted it to look good. I wanted it to wanted it to sell the idea I needed, and I really did take my time with it, so I am pretty proud of it. We're going to see lots more work with some planters and stuff. Here you go. We're putting in a little planter here. And I decided we should keep it rustic, keep the planters looking kind of rustic in front of this building. And again, a lot of this is the reference imagery from Hollywood Studios, so you can go check that out. Google Earth has been my friend on this project. Something fierce. So, and I figured since this is a super high budget park, we can go ahead and kind of go nuts with the plants. Mike will probably hate these, but and it's even funnier because it's his dedication. I'm sure we're gonna have several dedications to Mike and to the bros and members of BroNation. So this is probably just his first. So this little Deco thing, that yellow and pink thing that I was just fiddling with, I'm gonna come back to that a little bit later in the episode. It was absolutely killing me. I couldn't for the life of me figure out what I wanted it to do, and I knew something was wrong about it, but I wasn't sure what. So I do eventually fix it. So if you're kind of bothered by it, don't worry. Just stick around, and we'll get to it. So one of the things I really wanted to do with this entrance plaza was cut it back a bit. It felt so huge, and it still is large. But then when referencing the entrance plaza to Hollywood Studios, it is a big space, but what they have is a giant planter in the center. Or not a giant planter, this giant structure in the center called Crossroads of America, and it takes up a large chunk of this central entrance plaza. So I figured we will eventually need something like that. And so I kind of just didn't worry so much about how far apart everything seemed, because it ends up working out in the end, I think. Here we're playing with some of the new signs that came with Studios. And people were saying that they don't sink as well into the walls. And at first I was like, what are you talking about? But when you pull back far enough, you will see the sign texture through the wall, no matter how careful you are. I spent quite a few minutes trying to get that to work, and it just didn't do as good of a job as these metal signs did. So I ended up going back to those Western metal signs. And the first aid sign is a little garish. The crosses, I don't know. We'll see. I'll sit on it for a while. I might get rid of it and just leave the words first aid building. Like, I don't want to draw too much attention to that, you know? So yeah, I liked this little pass-through between the building and the planter there. I thought that was a nice little feature, just to give it a little bit more character. So, taking the same details here on the front arch and transitioning it over to the side here. The issue with this is that roof is a 1 height, while all the others are 2 height. So it meant some slight modifications to the roof line. And then I realized that I didn't have it centered on the roof properly, so I pulled it away there for a while, for a bit, and got it all squared away, and then reattached it to the building. So, yeah. Other than that, aside from these 2 buildings, there's one more big thing in the episode, and that's coming up real soon. So I'm gonna let this building finish out, and then I will join you back when we get to the last little portion of this build. So enjoy the music, and I'll see you in a minute. right, so here we go. Some more art shape madness for you here in episode 2. Hopefully you got to see my leprechaun build for St. Patrick's Day. If you didn't, I encourage you to check it out if you like art shape stuff. I really enjoy working with the art shapes. When they first came out, I thought, oh god, I'm never gonna use these. These are for I have no use for these. Blah blah blah. And then I started screwing around with them, and now I love them. And I kind of like that it's become a little bit of my calling card. People kind of know me for my art shape work, or my custom signs at the very least. I mean, let's be honest, I am no SP Ridley. Let's just get one thing straight. I am no SP Ridley. And if you don't know who that is, I encourage you to find out as much as you can about what he does. He was in the Shy Guys World competition in the summer last year and did some amazing work. His art shape stuff is just incredible. So anyway, we're going ahead here, and we're creating a mascot for the park in I guess my honor. And right now it looks kind of mousy, but don't worry, it won't stay that way. I'm sure you can figure out where we're headed with this. And this guy doesn't have a name yet. I guess Bandit would be his name. That seems so lame, but I don't know. If you have a good name for this guy, let me know. We are creating a raccoon mascot for BroNation Studios. And remember how I said that Hollywood Studios has the Crossroads of America as its main focal point in the entrance plaza? Yeah, well, we're gonna have a giant cartoon raccoon, so and I figured I don't want to be all high and mighty on it, but if it's about BroNation, I need to be referenced in here. So this will be one of my ways to reference myself, I suppose. So these art shapes, making things are always difficult when working with art shapes. And I actually like this technique, this little rotating nesting technique. Kind of looks like I gave him hair, which I'm totally cool with. I think that's pretty good. At some point in this video, my wife is going to come in and tell me that his nose is too big. And I always kind of knew it, but I just kind of wanted to roll with it as long as I could. So it's got cute little ears, and there's his little head. I really don't have much else to say other than I'm making a giant raccoon out of art shapes. I did really struggle with his body and his proportions and how I wanted his body to attach to his head. That's always my biggest struggle, is getting torsos together. There we go. There's his new nose. His #snowman pipe nose. Double snowman pipes made him kind of look like a koala, so we went with a single snowman pipe to kind of hopefully make him look a little bit more raccoony. So I don't have much else to say for this episode. Enjoy watching me build a raccoon. Does this make me a furry now? I don't know. I'm not sure. I don't know. Anyway. Enjoy the rest of this episode of BroNation Studios, and I will try to get another one out to you as quickly as I can, because I am really enjoying this. I've kind of hit a stride with this, so hopefully you'll see another one in a week to 10 days. Maybe we'll get some more Planet Coaster stuff on there, and rumor has it that there may be a certain new episode of a certain series coming your way quite soon. So stay tuned for that. Yeah. So have yourself a great day, great night, great whatever. And I will see all you guys real soon. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Thanks so much for being here. I do appreciate you spending time with me today. Talk to you guys later. Bye-bye.
Bye.